He-Man is on his way to theaters in just a day or so, and Star Wars is shaking in its little booties. Its little Grogu booties. But why? After all, He-Man is supposed to be a huge flop, a disaster in the making. What if we told you it doesn't matter? He-Man could come out and make $1. Something's happening that will cause Mando and Grogu to collapse even more than ever before. And it's all because of He-Man and IMAX. It is the worst nightmare possible for IMAX. What are we talking about? Well, they abandoned Mando and Grogu, which probably was the right call, after that 80% Friday to Friday drop, and went all in with Masters of the Universe. It still had an IMAX rollout before, but now it's increased. And boy, oh boy, is this going a bad way. I'll tell you what they should have done in just a second. Global Box Office says Masters of the Universe is now tracking to bomb this coming weekend. Its pre-sales pace has been weak and never really improved. It's now on track for a $27 to $35 million domestic opening on a $170+ million budget. And that's just the production. You add in the cost of marketing, and this movie likely needs $500 million to break even. It's not just Disney that we call this out on when it goes this badly. My response to this is bad news for Masters of the Universe and Star Wars both. If this happens, lots of empty IMAX screens on the way. Maybe the US should follow internationals and start putting Michael back into the premium screens. It's so bad now that they're preemptively saying over on Slash Film by Ryan Scott, Masters of the Universe might get buried by Scary Movie at the box office. Andy, I'm a little shocked by this. I mean, I know that Masters of the Universe is no longer a huge property. You know, I mean, even Ninja Turtles is bigger than He-Man. But Andy, I don't understand why this is doing so poorly in the pre-sales. What do you think's happening here? And we'll go to the fact that it's going to destroy Mando one way or the other, no matter what. But what do you make of the idea that He-Man, everybody that's watching it says it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I think the reviews are going to be good. And boy, it's abandoned. Why, Andy?
I think you've got a lot of the back and forth with the advertising and the commentary from some of the talent in there. And you have the people that are gun shy are steering away from until they get validation whether or not it's going to be woke or not. If it's going to be like a straight up action thing and it's good, word of mouth will carry this. And I think, because I think people want to go see a movie and they want to enjoy it, they want to have some fun. We went to see The Sheep Detectives last week and that was fun. It was, the theater was actually pretty full. It was more full than it was when I went to see Mando. And I think if this comes across as well as at least the Skeletor scenes, I mean, he looks pretty impressive. And I feel strange saying that about Jared Leto. I think that this has a chance to really pick up some steam. But again, people don't want to take the chance on it because they've been burned by Hollywood too many times.
Absolutely. This is so strange to me. However, I will say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how this does at the box office in order for it to really harm Star Wars. And the reason for that is simple. The Mandalorian Grogu now has essentially a couple of days left before this takes over IMAX, because the IMAX screens all decided we're going all in with this once there was the 80% drop. And that was Friday to Friday. We know now it was 71%-ish for the weekend for Mando. However, a 35 mil total and controlling the IMAX would be really bad. And if it's as low as 27 and controlling all the IMAXs, that's awful. But at the same time, if it controls all the IMAXs, Lauren, then Mando's average ticket price is cut in like half. And then even if the same number of people go second weekend versus third weekend to Mando, it still loses 50% of box office because of the virtue of the fact that the tickets are less. If you say, well, there's another drop as steep as in attendance, as we saw first to second weekend for Mando, you could see a 70 to 80% drop for the third weekend, which would be absolutely wild. And suddenly Mando is making less than 10 in a weekend because of a flop Masters of the Universe.
Well, yeah, and leaving Masters of the Universe out of it for a minute, that's part of why I think that this upcoming weekend is probably the last weekend. I think they'll pull it after that. That's why I'm forecasting such low...
Whoa. You think they're going to pull Mando out of the theaters?
I think there's a possibility. I
think they'll diminish it greatly. I think it'll go down below 2,000 screens. I would be shocked if they pull it.
even if they don't, I don't think that it's going to make any more money than what you're going to see this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I think
it's that's why I'm leveling my shot at 300 to 311.
Okay, and I'm saying 350 is hard. I'm probably somewhere around 330 to 340.
We'll see. When it comes to He-Man, I continue to be surprised by the soft ticket sales on it. I really thought this was going to be one that people were excited about.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too. I think Andy's right though. The advertising is just sabotaged it.
I don't know that I think that it's an advertising thing. I think the trailers themselves have been good. I think that it's what the people behind the scenes have said while the advertising has been going on, maybe. And I agree there's possibly some gun-shy folks after the aborted attempts to get He-Man going for the last couple of tries. So I'm a little baffled by it. I understand people being nervous about it, but so much of the imagery that they have in there, to me, is nailed. Every time that I see Snake Mountain, for instance, it just blows my mind. It's like that is exactly how I imagined it as a kid. It looks just like it did in the cartoon. For once, it looks to me, they could play a bait and switch, but it looks to me like they gave me what I asked for and what I wanted. They gave us respect and authenticity.
Yeah.
So,
and the problem there is if they do that and then we don't go support it, they have no idea what to do. Okay, Lou, I'm very interested in what you were about to say, and I want to add one more thing that I want to hear from you.
Okay.
Europe is abandoning all of this, and they're going to Michael. They're putting Michael back in, and South America too. Brazil started this. All of the big PLFs seemingly are going back to Michael as opposed to any of this. Is that what you like? Should the U.S. follow suit? What do you think?
No.
Okay.
I look, even if the same number, a low number of people go see it, the fact that they will now have more opportunities to see it on the big screen will boost the revenue to some degree over what it would have been without all those extra IMAXs that they're taking away from Mando. But, I got to tell you, I have no personal vested interest in He-Man. It was never a big thing for me.
Me either.
But you and I went to see Hail Mary and saw the trailer.
Yep.
And I sat there going, well, this looks like they took a scene from every action movie in the history of action movies and just threw it all together. It didn't impress me at all. So I don't know. Now, aren't they building a theme park around He-Man in Arizona? Or at least a section of one?
Maybe. I don't. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I thought Vash was talking about some park that they're building down there that's going to have a lot of He-Man in it. I wonder if the movie flops, if that plan will change. So
maybe. I'll tell you, there have been two films that I think have really suffered because of the marketing, and this is one of them. The other one is Sheep Detectives. I think Sheep Detectives, people didn't know what the heck it is. I think the title's bad. I think, it just, people didn't know what the heck is this movie. I didn't know what it was, and it turns out, it's not bad. It's a weird movie, but it's a good weird movie. And I think He-Man, when they, whoever in the world decided we're going to make a toxic masculinity joke in the trailer, I mean, that's $100 million mistake.
Yeah.
It's $100 million mistake to do it. There's no advantage to doing it. So missed the mark completely there. Missed the mark completely. Andy, I'll give you the final word on this He-Man situation. If this fails, you probably know a lot more about Masters of the Universe than we do. If this fails, is that franchise on ice for good, you think? Is this the last attempt for He-Man?
The chat brought up a really good point with the Kevin Smith debacle, alienating fans. That's been if that was your first experience with seeing what Masters of the Universe was, you think about it, if you're like, I was lucky enough to be able to share Star Wars with my son back when it was still good, and taking him to see Revenge of the Sith. Like, he was old enough to see that one in the theater. And there's Masters of the Universe fans out there that would have loved to do the same thing with their kids. And then you saw the Kevin Smith thing with where they said, like, and where he swore up and down, oh, no, it won't be like that. And it turned out to be exactly like that. And you're wondering why people don't trust them. If this is good and they just ignore those attempts at whatever that was, and they continue with this could actually turn into a franchise, because it does look really good. And let's be honest, you don't have to be that impressive Look at all the 80s movies that we really liked, Highlander, that aren't particularly great per se as far as films go, but vastly entertaining, and that's good enough. But if they can do that, then they might have a winner.
Yep. We will we'll keep tracking it, folks. We'll see what happens here. I don't know where this franchise goes if it fails, but one thing's for sure, IMAX owners are looking at this and saying, whoa, Nelly, how did we jump from one stinker to another? And how do we go from empty theater to empty theater? Maybe not Michael, but they're waiting on the next big hit to bring people to PLFs, and they've suffered because of Mando. Folks, it's time to bid you adieu, but we hope that you will help us anew, and that is, we're only asking you click that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, have you gone the way of thatparkplace.com? www.thatparkplace.com. It's the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to, well, you should be. A bastion of truth and knowledge when it comes to entertainment and everything that's going on. Go check it out today, folks. We would love to have you over there as well. All right, we are getting ready to head out, but do not fret, for we will put out 4 more videos tomorrow, so long as the good Lord allows. And we believe that probably, just might, happen. All right, until the next time we get to share time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.